Okay, we'll pick this one up in progress. Here's enemy movement back and right, and if he goes to the left, he drops down, and once he gets about halfway down the screen, he'll speed up. And so this is just back and forth enemy movement, and again, once he gets at the halfway point, he drops into a new speed. And so there's just one thing at enemy movement that might be useful in something that you're putting together. So I will just X out of this for a moment and show you some code. So it's got just a simple sprite, and we're looking into objects, and it says object back and forth. And let's talk about initial values. So sometimes when I code, or when anybody codes, quite honestly, they like to know where the edge of the screen is. So far left is 0.5 times sprite width, which gets it far enough left that it doesn't overlap the edge of the screen, but yet it can't get off the screen. Same idea with far right using room width, and same idea with top and bottom using sprite height and room height. Move direction, we'll just choose a variable that equals 1. Move speed is 15, and fast movement is 22. So these are all initial values put in a create event. So if we move on to an alarm 0, let's see what alarm does. Alarm says if y is less than the bottom of the screen divided by 2. So if y is at least halfway down the screen, or less than halfway down the screen, use move speed 10. Else, use move speed fast movement. So that again just switches it faster if he gets halfway down the screen. And last but not least, the step function, what's it look like? So we start off and say if move direction is 1, which is our initial 1, then if x is all the way, if it's not all the way to the end of the screen, what should it do? It should move at speed of move speed times move direction. So it's moving to the right. So if by some chance x is at the far right, what it does is it multiplies move direction by -1. So what that does is if move direction is -1, it flips down to this else, because I've asked if move direction is 1. So this else part would be move direction is -1. So again, it asks, is it at the far left? And if it's not the far left, it still moves the same 1. The reason it flips around is because now move direction is a negative number. So speed times a negative number is going to move left. If it gets all the way to the edge of the screen, what does it do? It changes move direction back to 1, and it momentarily delays, and it changes move speed equal to 0. And it sets an alarm equal to 15. So once it gets to the left end screen, move direction goes back to 1. Move speed goes to 0. Alarm 0 goes to 15. This is a half of a second. All right. So what happens is if the move speed is 0, I said y plus equal 5. This is what moves it down the screen. And then all the alarm does, if we'll go back and look at the alarm, is simply change the, wait a minute, that's not the alarm. Yeah, it was the alarm. Okay, all the alarm does is reset the move speed. So it says instead of move speed being 0, set it back to 10. Unless, of course, you're halfway down the screen, then you should set it to faster movement. That's all it is. Thanks.